Before we start our discussion, all we want to say is that it is our firm conviction that the lives of living beings, animals, are sacred. We have been observing wildlife, different places. Now, in some certain states, it may be legal to hunt the coyote. Look at your state laws and legislation, okay? But this is our perspective. We should not be hunting animals. Now, most people, you know, they value their pet. For example, a German Shepherd or a cat. So if you have a dog and you value the lives of animals, excuse our French, why would you hunt, even if it's legal? Why would anyone hunt a coyote? These animals have a right to life. Some people don't believe in evolution. We have a spiritual perspective that believes all life is connected. From the first life form that formed on a planet Earth, from stellar evolution, geological processes, to first organic molecules, animals have the right to life. So first of all, we're not very good at narration at all, but this is a topic that we have tried to address for a while. We never get it right, but basically it's about the topic. It touches upon some spiritual elements, but it's about the topic of basically how to practically transition towards a vegetarian lifestyle. And we don't really believe it's everyone has to go with a sudden clean break. And based on a lot of the readings of ancient texts, including which for us the paramount scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, and from essentially from 2019, 2022, 21, over time we have tried and failed many times, almost successfully, to transition to a fully vegetarian diet. And one of the reflections, this is our personal opinion, is kind of born out of this practical sense. It's kind of like laziness. It's kind of like the mode of passion, sensory indulgence, what people are used to, basically the idea of food should be enjoyable and tasty, and we actually agree with that. So our perspective is that one of the difficulties of transitioning towards a vegetarian diet, it could be basically the lack of great venues where people can just easily find anywhere, any street corner, any boulevard, any block, any restaurant readily available, where you just have this ecosystem of good tasting vegetarian fare. And so there's different types of vegetarian fare. There's like vegan fare, there's other stuff, but from our perspective, what has been troubling is basically, this is just our own personal opinion. So keep in mind, one type of food may be bliss, basically one, to someone's palate. One type of food may be bliss to you, but it may be absolutely disagreeable to someone else. So in our perspective, the mainstream, this is just our own opinion, the mainstream, so to speak, Western vegan fare, kind of the mainstream vegan fare, it's, to us, it's not palatable. It might be great, but everyone has their own individual intrinsic preference for the food they love. Okay. Um, so in some of these slides, what we tried to do, showcase some of the food that we really like. And in our opinion, if there were an ecosystem of just great tasting vegetarian fare, um, it's kind of biased because what we show is the kind of vegetarian fare that we actually crave, that we want to eat. And again, it's kind of born out of laziness. We kind of feel like if the food that we have shown in these slides are, you walk down any place, any block, any restaurant, it's just readily there. You don't have to actually, search out good tasting food. Then the transition from a meat-based diet, basically people who eat meat, they, you know, basically, what we're trying to say is that if there's really great tasting vegetarian fare readily available, any place you go, then that would make the transition a whole lot easier. Um, so the practicality of the economics of a transition diet, in our opinion, has a lot to do with the availability of good tasting food. So again, we can't narrate, and some of the food is, great tasting fare. We went to some of the basically, there's a place, a temple where basically there's like a kind of like a restaurant situated nearby, and we basically uh, sampled some really good food. Brought it back to our place in Las Vegas, home in Las Vegas, and just, we want to give an example of, if there's really great tasting vegetarian fare that you can access anywhere, that would make the transition easier.